Love that.
Not sure, but that whole group is all that group, I believe.
Oh, really?
There again, that whole group is really tight there. On Sean's team initially, he did a very good job with them.
She never came. I'm finding myself just not even just like picking up the phone and calling.
Yep. Yep.
I just can't type anywhere.
I know, it's so weird. No. Take your money. No.
But as long as we have something to say what Brad said, we're fine. Yep. No, I'll ask, see if Lori or okay. All right, perfect.
I don't want to say the name, but I do.
I don't know who that is, though. That's
then I asked him, I could go down there, it might be a good experience. Yeah, I had to talk about the
Well, that's why
Right now, it's almost like 3 hour drive. It'll be cool because we get one, two, lost two, but 3 of these really good. No politics involved, not sure if you know that. My sister really close the only nice one is we have I like so you still get
I tried that. It did the first two. I tried that before the first two. Okay. Yes, sir.
Well, then I just
So I went to a pharmacy, but I went down to our old building and got it down here, down the that's what
I forgot my bodyguard duties for the whole one time. I ran into Rich in the
You don't say parking lot, I don't let me communicate.
But asked me to go in at like 7 in the morning when I went to the
I was going to say the company, yes, I should go outside. That's
It's
I borrowed mine.
Thank
Oh, I did it all. I was in 73, the first time I worked there. And then I was in 63. I was sitting at 62. Well, the beginning it was. And then they converted into 73. It was the first time. Mostly just that sort of thing. And then I did a lot of paper transport. And I did
Go in there right after.
ship out papers out. Put it through yeah, because then we would do it and we would have to take each paper and drive each of those and send it back. And at the end of it, Sure have been layoffs, I think. You know, she was I can totally see it. I can totally see it.
No negotiation.
But they were.
I still remember tasting someone with one for a seed. Oh, no, I Rob, how you doing? Ray Nails, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
How's that going?
Steady work. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Look at my screen and
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Can I, sorry. Can I get everyone's attention for just a few minutes? Thank you. Wow, golly, thank you everyone. Just a quick introduction. I'm Celeste's brother-in-law, Scott. I know I don't know many of you here, but it's thank you all for being here today. It's been really, really tough the last few days. Alexis and I would like for you all to get a little bit of time to say something if you'd like. I just wanted to say a few things in the meantime. It's really, really heartwarming and comforting to have everybody, to see how well loved that Celeste was, and the impression she left on this world. And so thank you. It goes without saying that I think we are all lucky to have known Celeste, and I am extremely thankful to have had Celeste as my chosen sister. For 25 years now. I know while she's been here in Vermont, I know you have all had a chance to see for yourselves and experience what a wonderful person she was. Both as colleagues and as friends. You don't need me to tell you what a smart, professional, accomplished, and caring person that she was. I'm going to tell you anyway, though. You don't need me to tell you how kind and hilarious and sarcastic and witty, but kind she was. But there are maybe a few things that you don't know about Celeste, and I just wanted to bring them up today. Celeste was an avid and outstanding photographer. I think some of you have mentioned that to me today, which warms my heart to know that she was talking to you about that as well, and you've seen that. She produced beautiful and artistic photographic record of our family trip to Ireland back in 1997. We still have many of those photos framed on the walls today, and it's just a cherished memory of ours. She spent many years photographing weddings with Alexis and with her dad, Frank. Did a wonderful job. Celeste could take incredibly flattering pictures, which was ironic as she was so photogenic herself. She could just make everyone else photogenic that she ran into. She captured moments that no one else could, including a couple of sort of infamous photos, but we'll talk about that. Celeste adored nature. She loved wildlife. As humble as she was, she may not have mentioned to any of you that she was in fact a wildlife scientist. I'm not sure if she ever mentioned that to any of you. You may have asked her, if you did learn that, what a wildlife scientist did. To which she would reply dryly, science with wildlife. You may not have known that Celeste was also an accomplished competitive sharpshooter. She was a skilled equestrian and a crazy good card player. Celeste quickly became expert, in fact, in just about everything that she tried. I know she was endeavoring on a very successful career here. It's really just too bad that as things were really hitting stride, it was cut too short. Well, like as I said, she quickly became expert in just about everything she tried. Celeste's big brother, there really wasn't much I could teach her. About the only thing I ever did teach her was how to drive standard transmission, which she picked up very quickly and didn't have to take long to do that. And as gracious as she was, that one brotherly thing that I did for her, she would remind me of often and genuinely thank me for it. She was the acquisition queen. She could find the best prices on the coolest products, and she would apply those skills to be one of the best and most thoughtful gift givers I've ever known. And while Celeste had never had children of her own, she was a favorite aunt for our kids. She loved her Rhodesian Ridgebacks, Koa and Keeley. And more recently, she had rescued two very cool cats, Solo and Hokie. And like all of us, they were much better off in this world for having spent time with her. She was loved. And she was missed.
Thank you all for coming. I've heard so many of the names and maybe not seen so many of the faces, but it was just lovely to hear how she was thriving and loving it up here and meeting so many great folks. And close too soon, but there's never a good time for anything. She used to spoil the cannoli out of her niece and nephew. She used to, she's known Scott since she was 16 and we were 18. And she used to call him Brother Man. And she would say, well, my brother did this. And then she'd say, my sister did this. And they would ask, you know, how many siblings you have, because it sounded a little weird. He skipped right over brother and mother brother. And she has, our friend Mike Finelli has come up, and he has also known her since she was 16. And she just enlarged her circle of friends and family everywhere she went. In a lot of ways, she thought that was the same. And we're so happy to welcome Devin to the family as well, just maybe not in the way that we had hoped. And I think Devin might like to say something, and anyone else, please, that would like to, please do come up. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Certainly can't, certainly, right, say, it's organized. I've been in some many up and down places as I start to remember, and many memories, and the pain of the last week and a half. But I'm not here to say about Celeste passing her, ending. I learned so much about her during that time. So courageous, so fierce, and in every instance of news that just continued to hammer at her, she always smiled and found the best in everything. And if any of you remember the 80s song, Nobody Breaking My Stride, that was the song that defined her life. And at every moment when, you know, the world would be darkest to her, we would just play music. And we loved music together. We would just listen to blues and random 80s things. And it was just, she lived a very beautiful life, you know, to the very, very end. And I knew her first as a close friend, then her as a companion, and finally I was blessed to be her partner. She stole my heart like no one has touched my heart before. Just, I was devoted to her, and I loved her more than anything. And she is the greatest joy I have ever known in this life. And to have her gone is a hole and a shock. But I'm remembering her for the lessons she taught me and I've posted quite a bit about this. If there's one thing that this wonderful and magnificent lady teaches everyone who has ever known her, is there's only one way to live, and that is to be kind. You'll always try to find the way to do the right thing, but when doing that, find the way to do the kind thing. She was full of grace, she was full of love, and she will be forever missed by everyone that knew her. She instantly could put a smile on her face. And I'm at a loss for her not being here, and so many memories just connecting, and, you know, I'd be out for walks and we'd be on the phone and she would just start telling me about, she'd like hear something, be like, blue jays, and she'd just go down and be like, blue jays are just the, you know, jerks of the bird world. And every time it just became our bird, and I think it's so fitting that she has that on her and on birds, and she's just truly a magnificent person, and I can't speak of her kindness, her grace, and her optimism. And she called me her marble, and I just am honored to have had so much time and so much love for another human being, and I will always miss her. And I really appreciate you all coming out and supporting us and supporting and celebrating her wonderfully led life, because it's exactly what that was. So, thank you.
So, I hung out with Celeste a lot. You know, when you're at work, you're desperate to hang out with someone fun and have a nice time at lunch, because then you have to come back from lunch. And I'd known her for 2 or 3 years, I think, before the fateful day that I turned on Michael McDonald's song on the Yacht Rock station on Sirius XM, and she immediately slammed my radio and shut it off. And I said, I've known you 3 years, and that's the first thing you've ever disliked. I've never seen you react negatively to anything. She's like, I hate Michael McDonald. I was so excited because I thought, I didn't think it was an act. Clearly it wasn't an act. But I really didn't think she disliked anything. I was so proud of her that she just didn't like Michael McDonald. And so every time I talked to her, after I moved far away, she always knew there was a chance I would start quoting lyrics to some Michael McDonald song to her until she realized what I was doing, and she did that. So, I just enjoyed that. She's awesome.
So Celeste and I became very close. It was late 2018 when we both applied for the CFDO position. And it was the worst 45 days of our lives waiting for a response. And they usually say, it's a quick turnaround. No, 45 days. We counted. 45 days, every day we would text each other, did you receive anything? No, okay, maybe tomorrow. Every hour, did you receive anything? No, okay, maybe tomorrow. And we both got it. And I am so very grateful that I got the opportunity the last 3 years or 2.5 years. She was such an incredible person. She was intelligent, such a great listener, and she would constantly make me laugh with her wit. And she, as Mike said, christened us as the Fraud Busters. And then sorry Ray, but we're going to be doing this. This is going to be for Celeste. We're going to get the shirts that she wanted us to get.
I'll even wear a hoodie now.
Thank you. And during COVID, her and I, we spent a lot of time together, living on our own. And I was there for her, she was there for me. And we were avid savers. And she would always send me these promotions, hey, get $300 if you open a Citizens Bank account. And I'm like, this is a great idea. This could be a little stimulus, and we would call it the stimmy. So let's work on this. Okay. So one day we were in the office, and I think that was the time we were cleaning up, because we were now full-time telework. And the promotion to get that extra $100, because it was $300 plus $100, we needed to basically do 50 transactions. So I said, what better way than to do it at work at the vending machine? If you guys were looking for Coca-Cola or something, yeah, that was us. We just wiped it out. It was a Saturday. We stood there, continuously swiped and swiped and swiped and swiped, until we said, no, this is too much. We'll try to do the rest later. And we ended up with a bunch of, I think it was Mountain Dew, Pepsi, chips, Cheez-Its, and we did. We got our little stimmy, and we celebrated that. And I just had so many good times with her. That was the best one for me because we were both financially wanting to basically say a little time. So I will definitely miss her. And I'm also glad I got to meet her sister, her friend Tammy, who she wanted to meet me and meet her. And I'm not actually good at telling stories to a bunch of people, but I'm sure she would say, hey, just do it. Because she would always push me to be my best. And she'll be dearly missed. Sister Rue, I love you. Thank you.
Well, after that, I never got a Coke or a Pepsi, anything like that, you know, because they always fit on a Saturday, so I was never there like to get anything, because they were always saving. I worked with Celeste, and when she came to our team, the EFDO team, her and Kat got surrounded by 3 old, curmudgeon-y, battle-hardened folks, and I have been around horror and bad things for 20-something years, and I could tell immediately, without even having any conversations with her, that this was one of them. She's one of them lights that are just effervescent. She was just one of them, and the first thing that she wanted to do was have us all wear T-shirts and say "Filibusters." And she designed the flags, and I'm there, and walked by her desk, and her desk just looked like an artistic, just performance of going on at her desk. And every time that you like looked at her or talked to her or said anything other to her, she was smiling and happy. And I know that if she were here now, she wouldn't want us all to be sad. She would want us to think about all of the happiness that we are surrounded and blessed by every single day. Like we all woke up this morning. How blessed like we were I wake up this morning. We all hugged our children a little tight. I know I did. And we're blessed to have all of that. It's people like that that make the world a better place. You know? And God must have needed an angel, because that's the only way that kid is not your kid. She's 48 years old. She looks fantastic. And I call them kids, like my kids. The world is a little bit darker than Wednesday. But I know that when I cross over, we're going to have a hell of a laugh about the whole thing. And it was an honor, you'll know her, honor. And I don't say that about a lot of people. But it was an honor, that my limited honor, and she will be sorely missed. Sorely missed.
So I'm very emotional always. So I met Celeste. We started at the Vermont Service Center together back in 2015. When I moved to Vermont, I knew nobody. I was living with a couple who were like 20 years older than me and like living in their basement essentially. And Celeste kind of took me under her wing, but was also a friend as well. So, you know, I just keep thinking of like all these different stories. So like right in the beginning, one time I was just, you know, at the microwave at the PSC heating up my lunch, and she's just like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I brought you a gallon of chicken noodle soup." And I'm like, "Why did you bring me a gallon of chicken noodle soup?" She's like, "I don't know, I was making it, and I thought you wanted it." So and there it was on my desk when I got back with my name on it, labeled. Like she had prepared this ahead of time because she knew that I was new, and she was probably worried that I didn't know how to, you know, cook and feed myself. So, you know, that was my start with Celeste. We were on the same team for about 2.5 years, which at this time was kind of unheard of to stick with a team that long, especially a group of new people who really didn't know what we were doing at the start. But Celeste was always the one to kind of get the answers and make sure that everyone was on the same page and everyone is included. So we would do lunches every day. And when it got warm out, she was the first to move the lunches outside, and we would all follow her and probably have lunches that were longer than that 30 minutes that we were supposed to have. But you know, we didn't tell anyone, and our supervisor never ever said anything either. And then I think it was every Wednesday we had snack time. So we would go in like a group of the cubes, and we would all bring little snacks to share, and we would start making themed snack days. Apparently everything's revolves around food, I don't know. And we did that for a really long time until people started complaining that we were too loud and too excited and chatty, so then we had to move it to the lunchroom. But, you know, she was one of the people who was always kind of planning what people were going to bring, even then, you know, bringing people together. And every story I think of, it was just her doing things to, you know, include people and to be kind. You know, I could just kind of go on and on. So we worked together for a long time, and then I ended up, you know, leaving the BSC, and we still kind of stayed in touch a little bit. But I think Kat kind of took over my role at that point, you know, in CFGO and with being her friend, and they became really close, which was great. And then more recently, we started hanging out again, and she came to the pig roast at our house, and she joked about bringing a piñata, but then she did. So we have a pig roast. We have a pig roast every we try to do every year, and you know, invite whoever wants to come. And she literally just walks in with a giant piñata, and she's like, it's filled with liquor. We had to go hang it somewhere in the backyard. We finally get it strung up on a really high tree, and she's like, you got to go first. It's your house. So you know, I hit it. I make a little dent in it, and then I walk away and leave them to their devices. I apparently missed out on the piñata opening and the liquor bottles, but Celeste made sure that I got one, except it was empty. She came and found me, but made sure. You know, she still included me at the end, maybe just not with the liquor, which is fine. But yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about just so many stories about her. She's that reminder that you wanted, like, of what kindness is and the kind of person that you want to be. And I think that's why this hurts so much, is because, you know, no matter how much time you spent with her, you wanted to spend more time with her and to, like, learn from her and to just be better and to be like her. So, you know, I'm very lucky I got the opportunity to spend, you know, a few years with her and work and even hanging out. She watched Devin and I try to eat 2-pound burgers. Again, food, I don't know. And so, you know, it's a loss, but I hope we're all, you know, I think we're all better people.
I'm not doing that again, by the way.
Thank you all for coming. Would anyone else like to come up and say anything?
I'm Will Graham. I had the pleasure of I'm fortunate to join the BSC a year before Celeste, so I had the pleasure of meeting her and her whole group of people who EOD'd. And she was never actually someone I was training, but she was always the person who saw something in me that I could. Not that I just had the answer, but I could be friendly and I help her and help all her coworkers. And hearing even Ali and everybody talk about your kindness, and I'm so fortunate that for someone who came into myself came into federal service in my early 30s, thinking I had a lot of time to make up. She reminded me that there's kindness, and it's not, you know, to just even teaching someone something, but then to be friends, and then we go to cajole me to go see her favorite band. One of her favorite bands with Silver Sun Pickups came to Burlington, and I didn't really want to go, but I remember whenever there's something Celeste wanted to do, or Celeste was going to be there, whether it was bar trivia or something, I was like, Celeste is going to be there, even though at the time I live longer away from where we're going. I was like, I'll stay up late. I'll go out and cause being around Celeste and a couple of also people who are close friends was just made everything worth it. I'll be tired tomorrow, but I'll be so happy that I spent some more time with her, and I treasure all those moments, and I'm even just so happy that I ran into her to get at the Tabor to pick up a second monitor, and she was there with Kat, and they were both intently studying all the office chairs to find the right one, the right position, and
It was her idea.
And it was one of my, and now as very recently I finally have a desk set up, and I still have a crummy chair, and I was like, I should have stayed there with Kat. Like, Celeste would have found me the perfect chair, and I would have brought it home, and I think yeah, that's Celeste. I love her so much. Thank you.
I didn't work with Celeste. I met her through Kat. And I'm trying to remember the first time I met her. I think I met her a few social things, but the first time I really met Celeste was when we helped you pack up, one of the days, we helped you pack up your apartment. And so I think I brought pizza, and I was like, going through my head, I was like, oh, I'm helping Kat pack up stuff. I should have brought like boxes and all these supplies, because I was like, Kat's gonna be so overwhelmed. And I get there, and there's this amazingly kind, gentle, funny human that I was just like, huh, you are good shit. I was like, you are a good person. And not only that, she was just making jokes, and she was so easy to be around. And then she's like, oh, and I also have this. And she brought out these bins, plastic bins, already full of like bubble wrap and everything. So I was like, you are like perfect for Kat, like perfect, organized. And I was like, who's carrying around all of these bins? Like, how do you have these? Well, she obviously planned to help you pack up, but she's like my family staged homes. And the more she talked, I was like, she is just like this amazingly genuine soul who's also like I didn't realize she was an expert in all those things. Has this wealth of experience, but she's so humble and so just like natural. And I just remember like laughing, and it just felt like we'd been friends for so long. And obviously, like, through COVID, I didn't keep in touch with her as much as Kat did, but like the times we came together when we finally could kind of have some socialness, it was just so great to just like be around amazing kind souls and eat cupcakes and try to figure out how to work your new grill and plan meals, and those times were. She got lots of people to help her with the new grill. You were like the third person, I think, right? There was like 200 before you.
Months of conversation.
She solicited lots of people, David, me.
And it's a 2-burner Weber.
It's like, that brings her community around her.
It took me 8 months to get it out of the box.
It's a 2-burner Weber.
And Celeste was proud.
And you put it together yourself.
And I put it together.
Yeah, but I just am so thankful for the time I had with Celeste. And you're right, like, I know she'd be like, don't cry, no tears. Just, like, remember to bask in the kindness and do that and take that forward. But the tears are because we loved her, and she brought such love and sun into the world, so, yeah.
I don't usually do this, but for Celeste, I just have one quick funny thing. When you talked about the 45 days, man, when I applied for this job, I applied how much later than you guys? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But a testament to that woman's patience, because I pestered that poor woman and Kat almost daily. I'd be like, so, I don't think I'm going to get this. And she's like, 45 days. 45 days. And I'd be like, shit, what day is it on? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think I'm going to get it. She's like, you're going to get it. And I I was so desperate to get out of supervision. I'm sorry, Sean, but man, she put up with a lot of crap from me. So it was just when I get into that mode, she really was kind and put me at ease every day. But the 45 days just cracked me up. Every time she'd be like, "How's it been 45?" Anyway, as everybody said, there's nothing left to say. She's beautiful, wonderful, kind, and we miss her. I wish she would have taken one of those walks with us every day. Kat and I would go for a walk, and she'd be like, "I don't have the right boots." I don't know. But anyway, sweet, sweet soul.
Everyone, thank you. I don't want to. If anyone else wants to say something, that's great. If you'd like to just hang out for a little longer and just have some more conversation, please feel free to do so. And thank you all very much. It means so much to see so many wonderful people who live a wonderful life. Thank you.
I just wanted to say, Celeste and I started together in 2015, and she was just what everyone has said, just an amazing person, so much love and joy. I remember we were in business together, and then she went to college, and I went to her a couple of times, and she said, "Oh, by the way, you know, what do you think about this?" And I had issues, and she said, "No, I don't want to talk about it." But I think this might be, you know, whatever it was that I said, it always had that way of just, I took my time
Hey, Ben. I love the tie tech. I couldn't find mine. Where the hell was it?
I'd like to see this is
I'm an old guy. It's time to put on a shirt. All I can say is that a week ago, Right. Or get a camera. No problem. How you doing, buddy? You were on our wedding. My wife is Baxter. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Right? Come on, get a big stuff. Oh yeah, well, I'll put you for some more awards. We were chatting, and all of a sudden this award popped up on awards to each other. And it was there's I feel like I always work hard on stuff. I'm going to give you a hug. It's very good to see you, man. That's my job. My brother-in-law who was freaking out and he was just like looking at his ear and like when I saw him over there, not knowing where to go or what to do. He's a hermit. So you can imagine what that's like. Yeah, stay in touch. Hey, dude.
You've already got one. That's for mom. Much positive? Yeah, we are. All right, cool.
He was like, no, at this point. Good, it's all right. The three of us are going to go probably qualify. Yeah, they're I know, it's all. We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
I just remember all the time, many times, you always had a smile on your face. And then I thought that she was very and it's like, no, she's always different.
I'm gonna say railroad advance is just like, I know. You can literally walk through this railroad.
That sounds very nice.
Because you never went to that.
Right, but I'll be certainly I want to thank you. We'll see. I can find a big six.
You'll be fine.
So if I float, you'll never see my face again.
You love vlog. Oh my
Look on the
goodness.
right side. If she passes me,
That is so true. That is so true.
I didn't know she had Rhodesians. Why didn't you tell me she had Rhodesians? Yeah, the Rhodesians.
they're great. They're great. They love their.
I didn't know she was a sharpshooter. That's freaking awesome.
I didn't know any of that stuff.
The only reason I knew she was an equestrian was because Evan said it. And then I was like, okay, I think that's the whole thing, right? It's like, no, true. It's right on the belt. So. Well, I mean, even living here, a lot of people don't have shoes. It's like, she fits on it. Do not let them use an 1800 hospital use. Oh my god. Addison is not allowed to lose a finger, neither is Mackenzie. This would murder you. Murder. I'm actually going to be over, not this weekend, next weekend. We're going to have a play date. Robert has to work. I'll be there. I was going to say home then. It'll get so bad. Oh my god. They're headed there now. I ate lunch at 2 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Hi, Red. Long time. Who's that?
So where are you at? She made me crazy. She was sausage. They're understand that everything is
But I'm not a
well, you've got to be able to walk in. Everything goes out. Seriously.
I'm going to go to him. I'm going to be like, Greg, we're going to tell him everything. I have no idea. Tell me everything.
You'll get it. It's us. If you guys knew it, every time you finally this is a good original
guys can believe in there now. Every place. Then I would listen to this. Okay, now I'm going to
Eventually, give it a decade. Why doesn't that surprise Take it with a grain of salt. I know you didn't get one. I figured out.
Then they don't actually end up talking to me, and then when they got it there, the girl sent the picture to me, and then
Our job is done.
And then it's a ripple effect.
no, she's not mad at me. It's just, I don't know.
Right now, our mission is fine for us.
I need to tell you, the most fun was like,
Everybody shows up.
not the whole like the greater universe.
I try to be home.
Many fond memories.
The same way. The more consistency she has, the better she is. So if I'm not home, I'm if you need anything, you call me. Okay? I'm serious, Liz. I'm over visiting.
No, I will see you next week.
Yeah, come visit.
Yes, probably They do. Like, I'm bringing to the gym, so I'm like, y'all I'm gonna be like, y'all play for they was telling me to go down to
That's hard to
We're all going to carry on.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Stay in.
You build on it.
Yeah, that would be like, I'm wasting my song.
Oh, yes. We actually see each other again soon. Celeste and Rhoda continue to meet. Listen to some more voiceover stuff.
Very smart.
I knew she got she's a handful. I'm doing the math in my head. Yes, I I feel like based off after anyone turns 30, like you might I have to base it off of like you have I can't even really remember anymore. I have to base it off of like counting backwards like
It's so funny when you turned 21 you knew it exactly. Now it's not
Mix them up a little bit.
I'm like, how old am I?
I think that's how I told you. You no.
Well, I at least heard upstairs. I know you're busy. Let's catch up.
I'll flip you guys up when I try mine. I'm just gonna.
You got a lot. I miss
Nothing that's going to stop me from seeing her off to the final place.
One of the exercises is we're going to make it easier to put your socks on. Put my left. Yeah, third. It's like almost there, you know. It's like, I'll come back again. Just one more inch less.
Not
This one was like,
and I have so much respect, more respect than I ever had for what you went through. And 95% of licenses are all
I recognized your face and there was actually
for surgeons here,
I saw the story goes from this
outpouring of community checking for like a better
live X-ray.
she spoke so highly
What?
of
Did you have those?
I had to have those
I
conversations.
said, I'm sorry too.
What happened?
You should hit me with
I have 25 years from now.
Exactly. How was it? Oh. Yeah, it's all out.
What about did they ever test for genetics?
It came back. Everything was stage managed. There was nothing. It was so much better turned out. She was just like, I got this. Got that.
Literally, that was what I was doing.
Right, everybody's trying to
was so educated on her. Thursday, just that happened.
I have to tell you that if she had come to me before she made that decision,
There it is, okay.
well, I tried really hard not to force people into thinking that we have to do something. Exactly.
I appreciate that.
Exactly.
Michael.
Because I know so many people.
He's a great guy.
Very.
I didn't stop to the second talk. He's like,
We didn't even know.
what do you got for me?
She had some moments of
It's a great
anxiety.
Yeah. The other whole, he's got the,
She would just, there'd be moments, she'd get over it.
last night, he's doing really well.
Think about all you do is bring somebody in that, and that's what I
He just has a great attitude.
I think if she hadn't had anxiety, then I would have been more worried. Because it's a big
It's something to think about.
Well, we're gonna carry on.
Is the culmination of
As much as this disease is ridiculous.
Trying to complete something else. Maybe this month, he's heard a lot about it.
So he's doing the presentation, he's selling.
I love you.
This one, I just want to be buying a timeshare, please. I need help right now.
It's not,
Michael.
I kind of.
Accessible to you. I wish I would have brought my Halloween candy then, because I would like it to not be easily accessible to me.
I had Ray just coming in, he's doing his driving day, and I had some first day, there's good stuff. And he's just like, he just stopped. Is that it? Gone, I'm like, you're gone, he's like, he's just having a conversation, he's just like, and I'm like, it's so good, it's so good.
Candy makes everything
I was
better.
clearing out my office last couple of bags. Contact was just starting to get in, and I just left, like, I left some on the desk. I had to come in the very next day, it was all gone.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, yeah, I'm just,
That's crazy.
I'm teaching there, so.
That's awesome. It is weird being the opposite. Yeah, I spent half the day yesterday in there. I was like, I walk around and he looks at me like, where the hell are you? And I'm like, I've been for 29 years.
Celeste actually, one of the last things we did last week, she's clearing out her back bedroom. And
That's a nice line
she was in
there.
there the other day, and
So the large building,
she
yeah.
had this big desk that was
Absolutely.
against
It's
the
one of
window,
the few like
and she's just like,
purpose made
been working off a
buildings in the
laptop
States.
for a
Yeah.
year and a half on her kitchen table.
Oh, wow.
She's like,
Oh, you did
wow,
lose your
how's
kitchen
that?
table. That's
What do you
good to
think?
know, because you told me you were
Uh,
out.
That lasted 2 days, and when she's like, okay, so you're seeing a chiropractor now, you're working on the kitchen table, here's a desk, here's a chair. Yeah, so I now have my own like furniture stuff set up.
See, she was taking care of you right up to the end.
Sundays we watch football or whatever else.
Oh, okay.
Varied by.
I don't think she had a favorite.
She liked players.
Yes, that's where I was until I was told I had to proclaim a team.
You know, that doesn't work because I was
When were you last time?
it wasn't the Super
I
Bowl,
grew
whatever
up in
the
Troy,
one.
so I used to be. Sure, okay.
And so I decided
My mother was
to,
born.
so I picked a team.
Oh, yeah?
And then they started winning, and then the other team would
He was
win.
in 1956.
So my ex-husband came downstairs.
City
And all
America.
of a sudden I started cheering for the other team. I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Why are you cheering for that team? And I'm like, they're an
We
underdog.
watched a lot of Bruce Berry.
Oh, Jen McCauley would be very proud.
So,
Sure.
she was funny because she was the most adorable person ever. And I loved that about her. She would be making soup while we were watching football. And she called it bok soup with chicken soup.
Oh, bop, bop.
She'd be like, at first time I ever heard it, I was like, I love it. And it's just those kind of like isms she has.
Yeah.
She told me, she's like, you're the first person ever listening for these little things.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Tomorrow's inevitable, right?
Maybe first May.
No, yes, I will say, it says to her and let her
I'm
know.
at the same point as you are. I can't stand it. Do you want to,
Because we probably didn't.
do you have time to do that?
Almost, but
Okay.
You said it.
we set it up.
Because,
That makes a huge
That
difference.
doesn't make a huge difference.
over,
I told her,
I can pick up her car and then bring it
how much exactly
Roadhouse is basically
Right
right in Williston. Just
So I have to
because
tell you, I think that's
it's
just
right
amazing
at
that you are
headquarters,
willing to
Mold
come out and
Station,
say these things because not, it's not every
go out here, go
not
out
every
to
female will do that
like
for
you
that
get towards the
matter.
interstate.
I just,
Come
it's
up
just
to
so
the big
endearing,
traffic
like,
light in Williston, the
so when I
Mold
was
Station
talking
around
to
the
you the other
corner.
day,
You're
my
off
fiance had come home for lunch.
right there.
And he was sitting there and he's like,
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah,
what that
I
was
mean,
that you
it's
were
gonna
just
take us
talking to,
probably
but I could just tell how
15
genuine.
minutes here.
I mean,
and
that's,
stuff, and, you know, we'll sit down
it's
and have
amazing, and
tables
she,
text and say,
you
hey,
know that she does that.
and I'll have a
She
drink
knows.
for you. All right.
Yes,
We were so
No, I don't, well,
plans and just,
we showed up to be
It's a
so, yeah, I thought about taking the chief,
darn shame.
the commander,
I
so
was
he could get in and
glad
out of
that
it.
she had you in her life, because I think she was very good.
She had a couple of years of bad health, and I just, when I started, this past, we've always been close, and I'd stop by and, like Coke Zero or a drink, and he'd be like, knock on the door, and she'd be like, here. And she'd be like, well.
Love language.
And so we started, like, we always hung out, and we did more, and, we just started music, stories, and then he just had dinner every night together. I spent every night with her. And last week,
Yeah, good for you, Cal.
on Monday, I saw her coming out of surgery, and I was at the hospital after. At that moment,
I usually do the combination of the chicken and sirloin
of our time.
with a baked potato.
And for 4 days,
I've never been to
everything was
Never been to
nothing.
Texas Roadhouse?
I think there's one in Albany, it's probably close.
And it only stopped when I got that call.
It's very well priced. The food is good, the steaks are excellent. We had such a long good salad included. I love beer. They have a ton of beer, and if I could switch with our local beers and a lot of the regular.
There's no reason to shake the salt.
Yeah, you do not need the salt shaker. Okay. Yeah, they do, they take care of that. Yeah, sometimes I order, I ask for bring on the baked potato, not to put any salt on it, because you know, it's got a little white cap on it. Take the shovel.
There's always one more to take.
I put it on the outside.
Well, if you need, like, if you need any help with the pizza can,
Really?
any of that stuff.
I
know you have a counterpart, and she's fabulous,
rolls
but
that they're
if you guys need any help,
Yeah,
just let me know.
Did she send that out?
the butter.
Okay.
Definitely.
No,
Okay, I'll take
I'm just saying, I know that started just before all
Hold
of
on
this,
here.
and then, so if you guys need any assistance, if we just start the mindset or whatever.
All right.
I mean, that's the only, that's the
We're gonna take
biggest
off.
thing, and then if you find any cause or any event you'd like
Very good.
partnership
Yeah, you
with,
too. We'll see each other again.
reach out to me, okay? Because we'll keep it right.
Go ahead. We will, until our 9 days.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, I'm gonna let you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
I knew it, I saw it.